And we're back with more of the Anime Club. I'm Nick Knack. With me is the great Lord Vorn.
It was a pain in the ass to get here. Weather was not nice.
Bakich.
Hello, everyone.
And Cece.
Hello.
And this week we watched Mob Psycho 100. We're going to be talking about the spoilers and characters.
I would also like to just give a shout out to the special guest who watched Mob Psycho with me. Peaches.
Peaches the cat.
Who actually watched Mob Psycho with me, like sat right in front of me, staring at the screen.
That's pretty great.
Well, Peaches, who was your favorite Mob Psycho character? Good answer.
She pawed at the screen a few times when Mob turned into a cat. Not gonna lie. I did have to pull her back from the screen when that happened.
Fair.
What is that Mob Psycho?
Oh, no, that was the other one.
Yeah.
That was
She watched
Seiki K.
She watched both with me. But yeah, no. When did she paw at the screen for the... Oh, she pawed at the screen when things started floating on Mob Psycho every time.
Okay.
Yeah, because she was trying to, like, paw after the floating stuff. Yeah. So she liked the floating stuff.
You heard it here, folks. Here, Mob Psycho 100 is cat approved.
Yes.
Oh,
So-
you are in heaven.
Yeah, she's very happy. So, story and characters. I gotta say, I did not expect Mob Psycho to come out swinging with such a strong storyline.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, was not expecting the emotional roller coaster that was the arc that covered the 5 episodes towards the end with the brothers.
Yeah.
Was not expecting that emotional gut punch.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Especially the part where he was like, now that I have psychic powers, I don't need to entertain this relationship. Not expecting that gut punch.
Yeah, it makes sense in context too. That's where the gut punch really comes from. Is that it's not something like, oh, they're just doing this because it's a thing in anime. It's like, no, it makes sense that Mob's brother would be scared of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, okay.
Yeah. I also liked the constant allusions to like the event from their childhood that caused all of this fear and stuff, but never actually getting to see an unbiased like shot of it. We never actually got to see a full unbiased flashback, not from one of their points of view or cut out at some point, which I think added to kind of the emotional bit.
There had to be 3 major storylines this season, right?
Well, let's see.
Well,
we
there's
had
Claw, Dimple.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had the who was that?
The
bully?
school.
School delinquents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Onigawara?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there are big 3 events that happen in season 1.
Oh, and then there's that final. Or that is Claw.
Yeah, that is Claw.
Yeah.
So 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of shit happens.
Yes.
Also, I do like that episode 1 and episode 12 both kind of had this sort of Reagan and Mob kind of comedy to them.
I really like their relationship.
Even though episodes 2 through 11 were a lot more to do with arcs and storylines. 1 and 12 book ending either side of the series
Just
were
Reagan and Mob getting into bullshit.
yeah,
Reagan and Mob are such a great dynamic duo.
it was here, let me introduce this comedic duo to you. Then we've got 3 arcs of actual shit happening. Hello, let us return once again to our comedic duo.
It's one of the first things Reagan says when he's the couple are in there. He's like, "Don't worry, we'll get this ghost taken care of, and your face will go back to normal." And they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with their face." He goes, "Oh shit!"
Also, the constant unpurified salt jokes. As someone who watched Supernatural, that actually had me fucking cackling.
Oh yeah, it's like, is this just table salt, dude? You gotta purify this. I love Reagan is a grade A bullshitter, and I
Yes.
love that. Like Reagan's probably my favorite character.
God, I wish I had one iota of that man's confidence and presence.
Oh my god, he's great.
Like, can you imagine the force I would be if I had 1% of that man's total power?
Listen,
This
if
is
you
Reagan's
could,
1% of
technique.
1,000.
Becky, if you could give me a massage that good, I would pay you.
Oh god.
I'd do more than pay for a massage that good.
Oh yeah. That is one of my that is like one of my favorite running jokes through season 1 is Reagan's special technique keeps changing
Yeah.
Oh,
depending
yeah.
on the situation.
It's like different every single time.
Yeah, what was my friend's favorite? My friend's favorite was the anti-Esper dropkick.
Yeah.
It's so specific.
I have to admit a personal love for the fucking salt fist punch.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
where he just punches you with a
Oh.
fistful of salt in his hand.
But it's not purified, so
No.
it doesn't matter.
So you know one of my favorite moments in the entire
Oh.
show?
Sorry, yes.
So, Mob joining a club.
That is, yes.
Yes,
yeah.
that was surprisingly amazing. I will say, my favorite moment of animation in the entire show was the level of effort that went in to what was essentially a BBC One spit take contest.
When was that?
This when he's dealing with the cult, and
Oh,
they're like,
yeah.
put this thing of milk in your mouth, and I'm gonna try to make you laugh.
Right.
So they do that on like BBC One with like famous actors and stuff, like a lot of the time, and it's really funny to watch. But like the level of animation that went into this fucking
Yeah.
spit take joke contest.
Well,
As someone who has spit taked on Knick-Knack several times.
well, other than if we're not talking
Unintentionally.
about the animation during the action scenes, my favorite moment of animation is when you see Mob exercising and he is literally melting
Dying.
on
Yeah.
the screen.
But like, kudos to him for keeping it up, and also to the Body Improvement Club for being such
Yeah.
absolute amazing bros.
No, I love those guys. I wish I could hang out with those guys. My
Right?
favorite moment is when Mob passes out and they go up to like, "Good job, Mob! You made it 6 feet further than last week." I'm like, oh my god, I love you.
Like, the care they have for each other is genuine. And
Yeah.
it's kind
I
of
know,
like...
because they're the Body
Yeah.
Improvement Club. They're not a bunch of jock assholes. They're there to improve their bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I genuinely love them. Like,
And
so much.
I love that is Mob's motivation. Is it's not like, oh, like it's like I want to get swole because swole guys are cool, right?
I mean, it's kind of his motivation.
Well, his motivation is that he wants the popular
Yeah.
popular chick to notice him, and he thinks that she likes athletic guys.
Yeah.
So he wants to beef
Get
up to
athletic.
impress her.
Yeah. That was so cute. I love that.
Uh,
I love
yeah.
the whole club line. I love the whole club storyline just happening in the background.
Well, that's one of the best jokes for me is when they're the delinquent school thing is going on. They go to the Body Improvement Club and they're like, "Guys, we need your help. We're getting attacked." "Sorry, man, we're doing squats today."
Sorry, can't help you. It's leg day. Don't skip leg day.
It's leg day, and then like they hear that Mob gets hurt, and they just destroy all of them.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
That was like one of the best scenes in the show.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say, no matter how much I like that, my favorite arc is Claw, the big
Oh,
one
yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just thought that was really good.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
well
solid.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
lots of emotional payout, especially between the brothers.
Oh, yeah. There's some great fights. There's like I said, there's a lot of emotion with Ritsu, his
Yeah.
Mob's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between Mob and Ritsu, and just like the culmination of like the very last scene where they're fighting like the last guys there, and they're trying to get Mob to fight, but Mob doesn't like violence, so he's like really torn on fighting.
Yeah. Fucking Reagan at 1,000%.
Oh,
I genuinely there because so I watched the English dub for a lot of this, and in the English dub when they show the percentages on screen, the dub doesn't translate what it's saying.
Okay.
Right? So a lot of times I was looking at the percentages on screen, I couldn't tell what was happening for like the first couple episodes until I figured out what was happening. And so when like Reagan started like just batting away fucking attacks, I was like, is his sheer like give no fuck attitude superpowering him to do this? Like, is he bullshitting these psychic like, I genuinely for like half an episode thought that he was bullshitting the psychic abilities away.
In season 2, there is a moment, very, very minor spoiler, in season 2 there's a moment where they're fighting a psychic who can basically see everything at once, and they're like, we can't even get close to him, he knows exactly what we're gonna do, and Reagan just walks up to him and slaps him and goes, hey, knock it the fuck off. And like, oh my god, is he so powerful that he can like nullifies it? And it just a big arrow pointing at Reagan and says, not a psychic. And he can't see him because he's not a psychic.
But I know, it is just so like I genuinely for a hot minute thought that the sheer power of his disbelief and bullshittery was empowering him to beat these
I mean, let's be honest here. That was the single best scene in the show, like, towards the end.
Yeah.
When,
yeah.
like, that entire sequence that begins with Reagan just pulling up and bullshitting his way into running
Yeah.
the organization.
Yeah.
But like that's
no,
To end with him,
10 out
like,
of 10.
fighting.
Dead ass, that end fight with Reagan, best fight in the whole series.
Oh, yeah.
Like hands down.
But that line still gets me, like, when I think about it, is when there's the last two claw guys there, and Reagan is basically telling them just knock their stupid shit off, and they said, like, well, what do you want us to do? Live like commoners? And he goes, what? You think that's beneath you? I'm a commoner, and you just lost to me, so what does that make you? And I just... Wow! Like, that is some brutal honesty.
It really felt like the guy. I know there was a meme going around about One Piece a while back, and it was like, "What's God to a non-believer?" That's what it felt like. That whole
Kinda,
sequence.
yeah.
Like, what is God to a non-believer?
That's kind of Reagan's whole motif, is that he's just no fucks given.
I love him so much for it. It's so amazing.
But I mean, like Reagan's still like a really as shitty as of a boss he is to Mob. He's still a good person to Mob. Like, there's the
He's
moments
a good
where
role model.
like he like uses that metaphor to like why Mob should never use his powers to hurt somebody. Is it because it's like you're holding a knife and you never want to use a knife on someone, right?
Yeah.
Or like at the very end when they're trying to pressure Mob into fighting.
I gotta
And Reagan
say,
just straight up says, like, no, Mob, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
yeah, I gotta say, I was like fully expecting from episode 1 for like Reagan to kind of be like this like asshole who was exploiting him.
Yeah.
And then as you go through the series, like he calls about the club and he's like, "Wait, Mob, do you actually want to do this? Like, is this something you actually want to do? You know, like
Yeah.
don't do it if you don't. Like, my man, actually looking out for Mob here."
Yeah,
And being like a good advice giver.
they go into more of that in season 2, which is great.
Yeah.
I assume somebody will be submitting that into the hat. Yes, okay. Vorn has raised his hand.
We have a volunteer.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah. And I think if there's any characters I'm not like that, my least favorite character is probably Dimple.
Okay,
Mm.
yeah.
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 It just felt like Dimple flip-flopped a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like him at first, but then, like, as he was with Mob, it looked like he was actually starting to turn a little bit.
But then
But then
with
when
Ritsu,
he went with Ritsu, I was like, oh, so you're just an asshole. Okay.
Yeah, he has his own motives for things, and he's trying to like. He's basically what you thought Reagan was. Like,
Yeah.
he's like exploiting other people for his own gain.
I will say, I
mean,
do
his
think
name
that
goes.
we got... I do think that the so there was the group of like kids that was assembled by that one guy,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That
yeah.
Ritsu was invited to, which we later find out was supposed to be Mob, which was hilarious. He's like, "No, I invited Rego or whatever." He's like, "No, I'm Ritsu." But of those two kids, they were the two telepathic ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they were
yes.
all shown the body of like one being killed, right?
The twins.
I gotta admit, I think that they could have hung on for a little bit of a bigger comedic payout on the reveal of him still being alive.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed like they were like, because he was like, let him mourn, and then he's like, hey, you want to break out? And he just turns around and he's like, yeah, my brother's alive, let's break out. Like, you could have gone for a little bit more like payout in that delivery, because like we were fully convinced that this kid was dead,
Yeah.
and then to just kind of drop it on us that he wasn't, but not in any sort of like shocking or interesting or comedic way, felt a little bit like we lost out there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean,
That was maybe-
I can buy into that.
Yeah, maybe the single scene I liked the least was that, because I just feel like it was wasted. Like there was a lot of opportunity to do something with it, and nothing was done with it.
Kind of on the same level with Dimple at the very end when he kind of came out of the jar, which was supposed to make it like come out as like the strongest one. I expected him to at least have a transformation, and then he just came out as his original spirit form, and I'm just like, oh, that's kind of a letdown, but I understand.
It felt like the show kept trying to get rid of Dimple just to not have him in at any given point. Like,
Yeah.
like as soon as he starts making his way into the main cast in the early episodes, they get rid of him in that one fight, and they act like he's dead for a little.
It's clearly no one in the cast really likes Dimple too,
Yeah.
so that kind of plays into it where they're like, I gotta get the fuck rid of this thing.
But it's never on the main cast's actual like
No.
initiative. It's always he just gets written out of the scenes a lot. And then he gets written out of the claw arc because he gets trapped in that box.
Yeah.
So there's never really a good chance for you to like actually get attached to Dimple or get a grasp on what his character is. It feels like he comes in, does stuff, gets kicked out of the story for a bit.
There is a lot of season 2 is a lot of main character development, like Dimple, Reagan, Mob. They all like have really significant character development in season 2. But yeah, for season 1, Dimple's just kind of there.
Yeah.
He's there to be the annoying sidekick that every anime has.
I mean, the only good point about it was the fact of like Mob actually mourning him somewhat when he was cast into the abyss, shall we say?
Yeah. Speaking of like comedic payout, the realization that under the hood, instead of a little girl, it was an old man with the gravity power.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's the comedic payout I was looking for.
Oh yeah. Did you like the very in-your-face symbolism that as he's talking about how he's super special and how he's the greatest ever, he slowly morphs into a baby?
Yes.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. I really didn't notice all that much.
Yeah, well, the very end where he's talking about, like, Reagan is saying, like, no, you guys are just normal people with these... just because you have the abilities doesn't make you guys special. You're just weirdos. And he starts... guy starts talking about how he's the most special person in the universe, and he's slowly morphing into a baby is because he's literally just a whiny little brat.
So I gotta be honest here. This is where I think the animation style doesn't do it any favors. I just thought that was inconsistency in the way they were drawing the character.
Oh, no, that was supposed to be, like, that's how Reagan views this guy.
But there's no... It's hard to tell that if you haven't been told that. Otherwise, it could just be animation inconsistency. You know, like forgetting to draw some face lines or something.
No, you see, this is where I remember that not everyone watches the things the way I do, because I'm an asshole, and I watch it for things like symbolism and story.
Yeah, I didn't catch that, so I just thought it was like some inconsistency in the art.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
I think it's the thing is like you were watching the English dub. If you actually watch it in the Japanese, you actually do hear the voice does end up a little bit more babyish.
Well, no, I heard the voice change, but
does it do it in the English one?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
But people's voice changes as they yell and like more and more. Like that could have just been the voice actor. Like that's not, you know, that's not like adding 2 and 2 to get 4. That's like adding 3 and 7 to get like 10, and then dividing by 3. You know.
Your metaphor's lost on me, but
Yeah.
anyway,
It's not as obvious to someone who's not as into the series.
Okay,
It
fair
could
enough.
just be art and voice actor inconsistency, to be honest. Like, my voice changes when I yell a lot, you know?
Yeah, but I haven't seen like that voice inconsistency too much in anime, I think.
I think it depends.
Can we agree that it's hilarious that Reagan started shitting on that guy for having shoulder pads?
Yes, that was hilarious.
It's like, are you wearing those because you think that makes you look cool?
Yeah.
Oh, what about that dot on his head as well? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like a bindi.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was hilarious.
A lot of fun jokes.
Also, I love it at the end when he, like, bends his fucking spoon and his mother's like, God damn it! And then his brother's like, here, brother, let me fix it! And then he fixes it.
Yeah.
That was adorable.
I just like the specific line of his mother just going, what am I going to do with these two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, his mother has, like, no outward reaction other than fucking kids these days. Like, she somehow thinks that this is a common thing.
Exactly like when Mob just keeps on constantly, like, bending his spoon, and he's not doing this on purpose, and she's just like, you have to drop this habit. Like, he's doing it on purpose.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like the mother is so unperturbed by everything.
I mean, she's
I
been
would as-
living with the kid for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume you'd have to be with the kid growing up with psychic powers. I assume he did a lot of weird shit when he was a baby. But like, but the way she approaches it isn't, I have this weird kid. It's, kids these days just choosing to use their psychic powers to inconvenience me.
Yeah.
And you're just
It really
like,
does come across that way as just like fucking young people.
No, exactly.
Right.
Especially when she's like, next time you bend a spoon, it's coming out of your allowance.
yeah, it's very young fucking whippersnappers.
Yeah, kind of mentality.
Also, how many fucking spoons were destroyed in the course of this series? I feel like we should have a moment of silence for the spoons.
There were a lot.
Like, if I had any spoons to begin with, I do not after this series.
That is entirely fair.
So many spoons lost. Like a fucking spoon genocide.
I just imagine his mother having a subscription to have spoons just delivered monthly.
Right? Just like new spoons every month.
Fun stuff.
I just imagine their bills: electricity, gas, spoons.
Also, I appreciated the power trip that the student council president went on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that was an interesting or like little moment in the show where it very like crashes way farther down to reality than you think. It's like, wow, this is really
For me,
Fucked up.
yeah.
It's when he like apologizes to Onigawara at the end, and he's like, it doesn't matter because everyone was looking for something to blame on me anyways. Like, it doesn't matter that you did it now because people do it anyways. And I was just like,
Yeah, that got real.
like, good God.
Yeah, that hit like really deep. It's like, wow. I
Oh,
was not expecting that.
why you gotta just like stab me in the feels? Also, because like I gotta admit, this is a bit of nostalgia, but I really like Onigawara because he has kind of the attitude and like the hairstyle that's very traditional of like
pompadour.
those like delinquent characters in a lot of like old anime and manga that are like secretly heart of gold but like delinquents.
Yeah.
And so I've seen a
And
lot
he's
of
like a straight A student is the joke.
yeah, and I've seen like a lot of characters like of that archetype, and I really, really love it.
I did like the very end where you see him hanging out with the Body Improvement Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was really great.
Yeah, because like at first he went to them to just try to learn how to like beat the other gang, and then by the end he's just like, these guys, they support me.
Yeah, he's
they
like an official
believe
member.
me, right? And that's following the part where the student council president visits the bodybuilding club, and they're like, Onigawara didn't do it.
Yeah.
They backed him up.
Yeah.
That also leads in another one of the greatest jokes in the series is when they're Ritsu and somebody else they're outside and Mob runs past him. He looks like he's gonna fucking die again, and they're like, "Whoa, is your brother gonna be okay?" He's like, "Oh, he's gonna be fine. My brother's actually one of the strongest people I know." It's like he just passed out and he's like a foot away from them. But yeah, that like the show like when it wants to get like really serious, it gets serious.
But I think it transitions in and out of that really well with balance. Like, it doesn't linger on that kind of stuff in a way that makes it hard to move back to the comedic bits.
Mm-hmm.
And the comedic bits are not so ridiculous that they prevent the show from achieving that emotional payout.
Well, like the scene where Mob is fighting a Koyama, the first member of Claw that you run into, and he's just beating the ever-loving hell out of Mob. It's genuinely hard to watch because it's just this guy beating the shit out of this poor kid, and it looks so brutal.
I gotta admit, one of my favorite Mob fights from the whole Claw arc was with the lady where he was like, my master told me never to hit a lady because people who do are fucking bad, and she's like, that is the sweetest thing I've ever heard. I give you permission to beat the shit out of me. And then he does.
Yeah, and she's
Doesn't
like,
that
hey,
happen
it's like,
entirely
yeah.
off screen
Yeah,
too?
yeah, none of it.
But it's actually, that scene's really great because she's like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to think any less of you. Just hit me with what you got, man. Like, I want a fair fight. And just the next scene, she's knocked out.
Yeah, because she could have taken advantage of the fact that he doesn't want to hit a woman. But no, she respects that, and she's like, nah, fair fight.
Yeah, like, that was actually a really cool moment.
I think at one point she was just like, that's kind of insulting, though. Because
Yeah,
she's
she
supposed
does.
to be, like, this top member.
Yeah. But she tells him, because it's I think it's obvious to her that he doesn't realize
Yeah.
that what he's doing is insulting to her personally.
Yeah.
So she tells him, and he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
One punch.
That's... Yeah, I think the actual, like, my favorite fight scene is when a mob is fighting Koyama, because that's, you see the 100% click over, and it just, the whole screen just says rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just, mob just destroys him with no fucking hesitation.
Oh yeah, none whatsoever.
Yeah,
And I really empathize with Mob having like a breaking point that once you hit that breaking point, it just all bets are off, because I too have a breaking point. And when I hit it, all bets are off.
well, everyone has that moment. It's just when mob does it, it's just nightmarish.
Catastrophic.
Yeah.
Yes.
World ending.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, just really great, just small moments for characters and things like that.
Yeah.
Where, like, the guy with the cursed sword is, he's talking about how he has, like, I had no parents, I had no family, and blah, blah. And then Reagan's like, dude, I'm pretty sure you just feel sorry for yourself and you're lashing out because you're a child.
Yeah, I like how Reagan's like, all of you guys need to, like, gain maturity and grow the fuck up.
No,
Like,
yeah, it's
bad
like-
shit happens to good people. You deal with it and move on.
Yeah, like, Reagan is just, like, he's just brutally honest.
I feel like, I mean, and I'm sure I'll get this when we watch season 2, but I feel like Reagan's got a backstory that I'm going to be real interested in.
I love that when he first shows up at the Claw HQ and they're showing, it's like, oh yeah, this is where we take the kidnapped Shonen. It's like, wait, you guys kidnapped Shonen? That's fucked up. Knock it off.
And they're like, but we're just following orders. He's like, okay, but sometimes you gotta consider, are your orders something you want to be following?
Yeah.
You know? Like, is this what you want to be doing?
Like, if Reagan had a D&D character chart, everything would be about normal except for charisma would be maxed out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
No.
Definitely charisma.
This man is like the very equivalent of like picture like a fucking bard, right? But with morals.
Yeah.
But not all the morals. Only some of the morals.
Yeah.
Hey, man,
But the morals he has
you
are
gotta get paid somehow, alright?
But the
Yeah.
morals he has are like through the fucking roof.
Youth Counselor Reagan, do as I say, not as I do.
Yes.
Oh.
That camp counselor who's like, okay, dude, I've been where you've been. I've been in the drug place. Don't do it.
Yeah, Reagan's hilarious. Like, the whole cast is hilarious in one way or another.
I guess speaking on the whole cast.
I feel like waifu wars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Waifu wars.
Waifu wars. Waifu wars.
Knick-knack.
Reagan.
Cece.
Reagan.
1,000 Reagan.
Backage.
The entirety of the Body Improvement Club.
Reagan 1000. but Onigawara is a close second for me. Yeah.
Got it.
Lot of love for him. A lot of love for him. But yeah, no,
I
Reagan
mean, I'm not
1000.
gonna fight you guys at all. Reagan deserves that spot. It's just personally for me, it's like, yeah, Body Improvement Club all the way.
But yeah, no, Reagan 1000. Also, I think I just love Reagan 1000 so much because I thought that he was just beating everything out of the sheer power of bullshit at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
did
he
you-
kind
kinda
of
was.
Yeah.
Did you figure out what the,
I
the word
got it.
is?
Okay.
That, like, when it clicks over to 1,000 and it showed, like, what the word was, like, what emotion he was, like, because they have the what is Mob feeling at
Yes,
this moment.
freaking rage, wrath, like
No,
anger.
no,
right?
Yeah, but
during
when
the
he gave
transfer.
his power to Reagan, it
Oh,
said
yeah,
respect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did figure
It's
that
like
out.
that was how much respect he had for Reagan.
Yeah, no, I did figure that out.
Yeah.
I did get that, but like they don't tell you that till like after he's already started being like,
Yeah.
And so, like,
It really, yeah. It's like throws you for a loop. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
right, like you're watching it and you're like, does Reagan actually have, like, insanely powerful fucking...
No, he has
No.
no psychic powers.
Not
For
No.
like 2 seconds when you're watching, you're
And
like,
he didn't even realize he had them.
Yeah. He genuinely is out there just like, fucking CGI, bitch.
I love when he just runs out though, and then he's just like, "Mom, help me out! I'm out too."
Glorious. So fucking good.
Reagan very well might be one of the best characters I've ever seen in an anime.
I think I agree. Yeah, just genuinely amazing and good.
Reagan is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me,
And
it
like
was
his
the-
character development in season 2 is like, like there is a moment. You've seen who?
No.
No,
Only
no, no,
Vorn
no,
has
no.
seen
Here has
season
seen
two.
season 2?
Only
No.
Vord. That's why I'm not
Yeah.
reacting when you talk about season 2
Vaughn
shit.
will know what I mean. I'm not going to tell it, obviously.
Okay.
But like, there's a moment with Reagan. There's a like pinnacle moment with Reagan where I genuinely got choked up at the things he said in that moment. I'm like, wow, god damn.
You mean at the end? Because I really like that scene in season 2.
It's when he's doing the press conference.
Yeah, the end.
Yo,
the end.
yo,
Yeah.
cut it out.
Y'all ever seen that skit about anime people talking soft spoilers?
Yeah,
No.
you
But yeah.
should.
But yeah, the end of that whole Reagan arc, that choked me up.
It's the reason why I try to say the end rather than a specific thing.
Yeah, well, you see, that's a little too vague for me. I'm not on your wavelength here.
Yeah, I think I've said my piece here.
Yeah.
I will say this. I find the that reporter journalist girl annoying as heck.
She doesn't
Oh, yeah.
do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just kind of there a lot of the time.
I don't know. I
Maybe it
I
would
think
matter.
she was introduced originally. I personally believe that she was originally introduced as a more like realistic love interest for Mob.
I feel like maybe she would matter more if anything she did fucking mattered.
Wait,
I
we're
thought-
talking about the journalist girl or
Yeah.
the girl
Yeah.
from the Paranormal Research Club?
The
journalist.
journalist.
Yeah, okay, so all right, we are talking about the one.
I feel like I'd care more if anything she did actually mattered.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's
And nothing she does actually matters in
Nah,
season 1.
It doesn't really matter. I think she's
No.
just there kind of like to spread out, like make the cast bigger. But yeah, I think this is me just speculating, but I think the author introduced her to be like a more realistic love interest for Mob later on.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it ever panning out to anything.
Never really did at all.
Well, yeah, that happens.
I don't even think there was even like any kind of spark at all to even try to initiate it.
No.
It's a dead
really.
freaking fish from the start.
Well,
Mob likes the popular chick, but he's not swole enough to get her attention.
boy gotta get good, son.
So we want to go ahead and move on to free talk? Well, we'll see you next time, guys. Try harder, everyone.
Bye. Please subscribe to us and comment.